Match number 28, Desert Vipers seem to have come out with vengeance this season after that loss in the finals in the last season, and that man Naseem Shah was rather crucial in restricting the Sharjah Warriorz to 140. Their penultimate game in the league stage, they win it by 5 wickets, and when they came out to chase, it was a certain Max Holden that got them to the finish line. An incredible partnership in the end with Hassan Nawaz, that winning 6 by Hassan Nawaz, and they rather completed. But one thing about the DP World ILT20 Season 4 is that they too present thrillers, and their last game for these two teams in the league stage was no less. They needed 10 runs in the final 6, and indeed it went in favour of the table toppers. The player of the match here with us, Max Holden, along with of course Andy Flower and Darren Ganga. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Well, Max, you must be very pleased with just the way the whole season has gone. 8 out of 10, the only team in all of ILT20 to be able to do so.
Yeah, I think the boys are delighted. Obviously set out at the start of the tournament with the aim of qualifying, and obviously the end goal of trying to get in that top 2. We know the importance of that, about having a second crack, and I think the guys have gathered a lot of momentum through the group stages, and we were really motivated tonight to finish with a win, because we know the value in T20 cricket, and particularly this competition of getting on a little roll and keeping that momentum going. So we're really pleased to get us the win going into the game next week. So the boys are really pleased.
Well, if I just had to talk about your performance, you seem to have really enjoyed your day in the middle. But interestingly, you've taken 220 balls to hit 1/6. That's incredible.
Well, yeah, I know. It's not a great thing, I suppose, in T20 cricket. But
still, more than 200 runs, now more than 300.
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty clear on my role in the side. I think, I guess 6 hitting's not my prowess, so I have to find other ways to be effective for the team. And, we're lucky we've got a lot of good power in our batting lineup, and I'm, really clear on my role. And, hopefully I can add value to the side in other ways. And, particularly in these conditions, sort of getting us a good start and allowing the guys with more power and that sort of thing to come in the end and finish the job. But, it's nice to get 1/6 on the board at least.
There it is, Max. There it is.
I know, I think
it's a long boundary.
Yeah, it's a 90-metre boundary there at long on, I think. So, it's flown over. But, luckily went.
Well done, mate. Must be really satisfying to be not out at the end of a chase there.
Yeah, definitely. I think, probably, the last couple of years, that's something I've really tried to improve in my game. I think there's been times where I've sort of done half the job and left it for other guys to finish. I think particularly in these conditions, never nice to come in and, start particularly against spin. So I think if you do get a chance to, get through that new ball and get yourself in and get used to the wicket, it's really important that someone sort of bats through to the end. And, like I said, then we know we've got a lot of power in the hutch to come in. So I saw that as my role. Once a few wickets fell, to make sure I was there and thereabouts at the end. And then, I felt if we batted the overs, we'd be close to their target. So pleased to be there.
Well, you were certainly there at the end, and well done on that. It's great when coaches and selectors and captains see someone being not out there at the end of chases. That little partnership with Hassan Nawaz towards the end of the match. Give us a little insight into the communication you had with Hassan there, because people underestimate the pressure that you're under to finish the game. It's one thing setting it up, another thing finishing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's such a good guy to have come in that situation. We were quite clear, and we didn't necessarily speak out much, but I think we both were quite clever against Rashid and the spinners. They knew they had a couple of overs left, and they were sort of the main threat on that wicket. So obviously try and get through those 4 overs, and we knew if we sort of backloaded for those last couple, Hassan in particular had enough power to get us over the line really, and he was really clear on his options. He's got such a beautiful swing. When he hits it, it stays hit. So it was a really good guy to have him coming at the other end and give the innings that impetus to get us over the line.
Now, Max, I'm keen to find out how your mindset changed from when you entered the middle in the chase, because you guys only scored 28 runs in the first 6. You lost 2 wickets, so you're behind in terms of the required rate. How did your mindset change from when you entered to when you close and finish the game at the end?
Yeah, I think you're key not to panic. I think there's been games so far this tournament from all the teams where it's not always got off to a quick start. Particularly sometimes back home in the UK, often that power play's even more important, and you see sort of higher scores. Whereas here, I felt almost backloading, keeping wickets in hand, and not panicking. Have been teams that have been most successful, and I was obviously pretty confident in our batting lineup. If we did keep guys in, that we'd have enough firepower to chase down their score really. So I think obviously giving yourself a chance to get through those first 10 balls, get used to conditions, and then perhaps be a bit more positive once you get in and. get a partnership going. Sam obviously played beautifully at the other end, and a man of his experience, and he's always so calm in those situations. That sort of rubs off on me, and he sort of never panics. He's he's okay to soak up a few dot balls, because he knows we can catch up later in the game, and I think that's been I guess the theme of the tournament. Try not to be 4-5 down in those first 10 overs, because then you're playing catch up all along.
Well, we were looking at you and your approach to batting. It appeared as though you were giving yourself room many times. Your trigger was moving to leg to try and free arms to score through the offside. Was that quite intentional because of the conditions, or is that an approach that you use in T20 cricket, especially in the middle, to penetrate the fields?
Yeah, I've sort of used it the last couple of years, I guess here in this competition in particular, just to give myself room to free my arms. Obviously, we've spoken about not always the most powerful player, so I've got to give myself every chance to get the arms through it. But also, I'm trying to I think I've been a bit predictable in some of the games doing that, so trying to be flexible, not doing every ball, and not sort of shutting down other areas of the ground. I think it's a big big sort of work on for me. I think even tonight, sometimes I got carried away with looking for those options rather than just sort of assessing where the ball's coming and reacting to it, because I feel that's when I play my best, is when I just sort of watch the ball and react to what's coming down without premeditating too much.
All right, well, Max, I wish you all the best. Desert Vipers looking like a really, really good team, playing like a team possessed. All the best for the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well done,
Player of the match, and a very well-deserved one. More than 300 runs now, and that's what everything is clicking for Desert Vipers. Let's just talk about Desert Vipers, the batting first. How impressed are you with the batters, whether you've got a Dan Lawrence, a Sam Currans, or a Max Holden?
Yeah, well, Max touched on it very briefly there, and if he'd been able to stay a little longer, I would have asked him about his specific role. He didn't seem too perturbed by the fact that he wasn't a big six-hitter. Like one six out of 260 balls that he's faced, or 300 balls that he's faced in this tournament, is extraordinary. But Tom Moody and James Foster, the Director of Cricket and head coach at Vipers, they must have made him feel comfortable with his role. And that's really important. When you're batting out there in the middle, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder thinking, what are the boys in the dugout thinking about the fact that I'm not hitting the ball like other people can. And so if his role is a type of anchor role, that's okay. In this tournament, the ball swung around. It hasn't been very, very easy batting in the ILT so far. So that role of having an anchor can be quite important, I think. And he's played it beautifully here tonight. 66 or 46 balls, that's top-class batting.
It indeed is, and to be in the leading run getters of the tournament without hitting a single six, the one that only came out tonight, what does that say about the way he's constructed his innings throughout this tournament? Well,
it speaks volumes to the format of the game, because you would associate T20 cricket with batters bashing the ball off the ground. It says that there is room in this format for the classical type players, the guys who are able to dispel dot deliveries, because that's one of the major concerning factors in this game. I looked at when the Warriors batted, they consumed 60 dot balls. That's half the amount of overs in dots. And then even in the run chase, although the Vipers looked in control for the last 5 or 6 overs, they consumed 52 dots. So I don't know if the surface was a tricky one, something that we didn't really see with the naked eye, but it speaks to a player like Holden. In those sort of situations, when you have a challenging surface, a player like him, to ensure that he focuses more on the softer skills, the rotation of strike, it becomes more valuable than just hitting boundaries and getting out in a short space of time.
It indeed was a tricky run chase, and Max Holden, of course, played that role of an anchor that you were also talking about. But just talking about the bowlers, and there's no Lockie Ferguson, there is no Noor Ahmed, but tonight, Akais Ahmed with those 2 crucial wickets, spin comes into attack.
Yeah, so Noor Ahmed was very good for them at the start of this tournament, as you say. He's had to disappear, and Akais Ahmed has taken over from him. Akais is a very good performer, and wrist spin, we know in T20 cricket, is vitally important. This was Johnson Charles getting out after establishing a real excellent base for his innings. First ball to Sikandar Raza, who's a key performer for the Warriors with bat and ball. So he could easily have been the point of difference for the Warriors if he'd been able to stay in a while. He went first ball, and it was a lovely piece of bowling, perfectly delivered leg spinner. It gripped a little, it stayed low, as it does on the surface. And Raza, he missed it. And that skill that Akais has got to bowl leg spin, googly, and be hard to read is exactly what you want for a wrist spinner. And he stepped into Noor Ahmed's the vacuum that he's left, and that Noor Ahmed is one of the highest wicket takers in T20 cricket over the last 12 months. So to step into those shoes is not easy, and he's done it really well.
Yes, but interestingly, right in the beginning of our show today, you guys did a piece on how to play spin, the batter should. Clearly, Johnson Charles could have taken a clue from there, but didn't. That sweep went wrong for him.
Yeah, I mean, as Andy spoke to me, in the commentary box, you have to premeditate when you're playing the switch. So he had at the back of his mind that option. It's just the execution was off. Credit to Qais Ahmed, the line was wicket to wicket, and Johnson Charles just was too far outside the off stump. And he had to wait a little bit too, so that timing of the swing was off. Didn't really middle it because you're banking on hitting it off the middle of your bat to clear that infield. So he'll be disappointed that he didn't execute well because he's worked really hard in the last 6 or 8 months on this option and even sweeping the ball, because that's been a major concern for him. Batting beyond the power play, batting against good quality spin bowlers, and making sure that he builds on that momentum achieved in the power play. Once more, 40-plus score. He got out when they were, 79? If they were 79 for 3, and he batted probably 4 or 5 more overs, I'm sure that the Warriors could have gotten to maybe 160, which to me would be a winning score here.
But coming back to that shot that Johnson Charles hit, very quickly, Andy, your thoughts on it, because you gave us that masterclass. How could he have done better? How could he have countered it better? Yeah,
so he employs the complete switch. He turns his feet round and he changes his grip into a left-handed grip. So he's effectively playing like a left-hander for that one ball. He's learnt that shot over the last 18 months to 2 years and employed it with tremendous success, actually. So it's hard to be too harsh on him. He puts spin bowlers under a lot of pressure because he's a very strong man. He turns like that, plays left-handed, and if that goes anywhere near the middle of the bat, it doesn't only go over that infield where he holed out, but it goes over the boundary and a long way. So some you win, some you lose. He gambled today and he lost. And the responsibility that you carry with you is that you put your side into a spot of bother as well. And those are the harsh realities of the game.
All right, plenty of harsh realities for that matter for Sharjah Warriors. They'd look back this season, they'll be a little disappointed with it, but next season probably come up with a better plan. On the other side, Desert Vipers for sure will have a plan cut out for themselves in the playoffs. Very quickly, our contest winners. These are the winners from match number 27. It's time to announce the winners of Wizzy Smart TV presents Jalwa Dikhao and Ampao contest from the previous match. Congratulations to all the winners for showing amazing Jalwa and winning exciting rewards from Wizzy Smart TV, a smart TV that has it all, the youth entertainment brand. So don't miss your chance in the next match, because with Wizzy Smart TV, Jalwa Dikhao in Ampao. And thank you so much for joining our broadcast as well, but there's plenty more. Darren, thank you so much for joining us. Andy, please stay with us, but we'll take a short break here. On the other side, we discuss, of course, that all-important match tomorrow in Abu Dhabi, but more on what could have the Sharjah Warriors done better this tournament. You stay tuned. They needed 10 in the last 6, another thriller. Hello and welcome, Mikey.
How are you doing?
Very well. How have you been?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just delighted to see these thrillers all the time. It's just wonderful. I've never been involved in a tournament where there's been so many last-over finishes, but then you take it even further, and it's like almost down to the last 1 or 2 balls. It's just been unbelievable stuff.
Indeed it has, and especially these low-scoring totals have provided quite an appetite for the viewers to watch. Especially, let's just talk about how they restricted them to 140. Naseem Shah for you tonight. How special was he?
I was very pleased for him because, he hasn't been at his best, and I think he's running hot and cold a little bit, but I thought he did a really good job today. And he took responsibility. Obviously, there's no former captain.
Well, you didn't have Lockie Ferguson.
Of course, yeah. So someone had to step up, and Naseem Shah actually took that quite nicely. I thought he bowled very nicely.
He indeed did, and especially that particular Yorker to sort of dismiss James Drew. How special was that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a beautiful Yorker, wasn't it? Speared right in. James Drew was playing really nicely. I think he scored 22 of 20 balls, and he was in a position just to launch. And so a speared-in Yorker like that is exactly what you're wanting from your primary fast bowler. But even more impressive than that, I thought, was his first over went for 18 today. And then he came back with that. I mean, that's a beautiful Yorker. But he came back with that lovely slower ball, which got Tom Kohler-Cadmore. That was the first ball of his second over. So to come back after getting belted around the park, and it's not often fast bowlers will bowl a slower ball first ball of the over. They're usually trying to establish themselves in the over with hard length or perhaps whistle a bouncer through. But he completely did Tom Kohler-Cadmore with that slower ball, and that was one of the turning points in the game.
It's also not something he's been a strong player of. Sometimes he goes off the ball, he gets some tap in the first over, he doesn't necessarily come back stronger. That tends to be a bit of an issue for him to actually get it back on track. So the fact that he came back so strong was really important for the Vipers.
Indeed, and the fact that he's just clicking at the right time. He is a lethal bowler, but more importantly, the poster boy of Pakistan cricket. Here is his story.
जहाँ से मैं ताल्लुक़ रखता हूँ ऑब्वियसली वहाँ पे क्रिकेट का कोई फैसिलिटीज़ नहीं थे उस टाइम। मेरे अब्बू भी क्रिकेट के ख़िलाफ़ थे क्योंकि उनको मुझे डॉक्टर या इंजीनियर बनाना था। क्रिकेट के लिए स्पेशली लाहौर शिफ्ट हुआ। काफ़ी मुश्किल से मेरा एक कभी दोस्त भाइयों के तरह है, तो उन्होंने मेरे अब्बू से इजाज़त ली थी कि इनको आप मेरे पास छोड़ दो एकेडमी में। अगर ये 2-3 महीनों में सेलेक्ट नहीं होता फिर आप वापस स्कूल भेज देना। वो टर्निंग पॉइंट था कि बस मेरे पास ये 3 महीने हैं, मैं जो भी हो जाए सुबह शाम मन नहीं देखना, मैंने बस ये ट्रायल में जाके सेलेक्ट होना है क्योंकि स्कूल नहीं जाना दोबारा। मुझे जब अब्बू ने इजाज़त ली, मतलब जब मुझे इजाज़त मिली और मैं क्रिकेट खेला हूँ, तो आई थिंक उसके बाद सिर्फ मेरे भाइयों के लिए नहीं रास्ता खुला, वहाँ पे सारे लोगों के लिए रास्ता खुला। ऑलमोस्ट अराउंड 15 to 10 ऐसे फास्ट बॉलर या बैटर्स हैं जो उस गांव से अभी खेल रहे हैं, क्योंकि उसके बाद रास्ता ऐसे खुल गया कि पेरेंट्स ने इजाज़त देना शुरू की अपने बच्चों के कि हाँ आप लोग अगर खेलना चाहते तो खेलो। मैं ऑलवेज़ थैंकफुल होता हूँ कि जो चीज़ें लाइफ में मुझे अल्लाह ने दी हैं, और कुछ ऐसा भी टाइम था जिसमें मैं सोचता था कि आई डोंट नो ये कैसे गुजरेगा, लेकिन खूबसूरती वक्त की ये है कि गुजर जाता टाइम। एक जो करियर का पीक होता है वो अभी मेरा बाकी है। काफ़ी भी जो मेरे इंजरीज ऐसे आए कि जिसकी वजह से आपको लगता है कि आप अपने वो पीक पे जाने के करीब होते, वहाँ पे आपको इंजरी आती है, लेकिन जो मुझे लगता है कि जो मेरी बेस्ट क्रिकेट है वो अभी तक मेरे अंदर बाकी है। क्रिकेट के फील्ड में आप कभी उस तरह के स्मार्ट नहीं हो सकते। जब भी आप अपने आप को स्मार्ट समझो तो समझो आपका हो गया काम। क्रिकेट आपको कुछ ना कुछ सिखाते हैं।
What an incredible story. His father was against him playing cricket. He wanted him to become an engineer, a lawyer. But now that he plays cricket, he's opened the doors for his brothers as well. That is what is called as leaving behind a legacy. But Andy, you've been one of the most successful coaches in the cricketing fraternity. Has a story like that has come, you've come across, really, really touched you?
Well, it was lovely to listen to him talk there. And that might be quite a typical Pakistan fast bowler story that he's telling there, actually. But there were two points there where I really agree with him. Firstly, if you get complacent, this game really does bite you on the butt. So it's nice for a young man to realise that early, because that'll stand him in really good stead and keep him sharp through his career. And the other thing that he said was, I don't think I've peaked yet. And I completely agree with that. He hasn't peaked yet. He played by Pakistan very early on in his career.
16.
At 16, I think he went to Australia as
I think he did,
as a young fast bowler, which is quite something to take on. And I think those experiences early are going to serve him in really good stead later in his career. He hasn't peaked yet. You saw that slower ball this evening. You see him taking on the role of the lead fast bowler in whatever teams he plays with in franchise cricket. And I think his graph is an upward graph at the moment. So it's really exciting. It's going to be exciting to watch his career. And I really liked his demeanour there. It was humble, yet strong and clear.
He's always been like that too, which is great. He's always looking to learn all the time and that sort of stuff. I've known him for a few years now, and he's just a really good kid. You know, he's one of those guys. I'd imagine the change room, he'd be a nice influence in the change room. Some of those younger boys coming through, and you hear those sort of stories. I mean, it's just terrific stuff and really nice.
Right, and definitely comes across in his game as well. Now, a quick reminder that from here we will head to Abu Dhabi tomorrow. And there's a lot riding on that particular game as well. You've got the My Emirates, the one team that has won 4 on the trot, taking on the defending champions. It is going to be Dubai Capitals. They won 3 on the trot. Both these teams have got winning momentum, but more importantly, what they're looking forward to is a top 2 finish and that all-important extra chance to the finals. My Emirates versus Dubai Capitals. Which way is your heart leaning?
Well, My Emirates, they've been flying recently. I think they look very powerful. They're very well led by Pollard. Dubai Capitals, I think, have had their challenges, and they've had that new captain in Dasun Shanaka taking over from Sam Billings. So that's been quite a tricky task for him. So all kudos to them for getting back up and challenging for that number 2 spot. That's a big game tomorrow. There's a vast difference between having 2 bites at the cherry and not. So really, a really big game. Looking forward to watching it.
And the Emirates have lost a bit of power in the batting lineup as well. So Paran's not there, so he's lost a bit of power there. So I think it's going to be a fascinating game to watch. I think that, I mean, for me, I really think that the Capitals are the side that will win this game tomorrow and go to second spot. And that's great, getting 2 bites of the cherry, 2 grabs of the apple, as they say. And good luck to them getting that. Such an important position. Nice to see there's so much on the go for that game as well, and such a big game with 2 really good sides.
We've got 2 more games remaining in the league stage. Tomorrow is for the top 2 finish. The last one is for that final spot. So how incredible it is to see that the DB World ILT20 season fought in the very last game doesn't have its top 4. But thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for joining us. We will see you tomorrow, Abu Dhabi, same time. You stay tuned. There's plenty more to watch in this.